So it's finally spring. Time for a new look, because nothing ever beats spring in a new dress. I'm using a floral print for this project. And of course, you already knew I have to just create a new pattern for every project that I make. Not every, but you already get the most. I'm stuttering. Yeah. So yeah, the pattern will be available for you to download down below. Hi, I'm Emmy and welcome to my channel.
Wake up, fuck up, I'm already running late. Cause it's 33 minutes, but only 3 miles away.
First things first, you need to cut out your patterns onto your fabric for you to start off on the project. And these patterns were just like raw sketches of the ones I planned. These are just the original print, but I am going to design the printable so you can download it down below and just do what I do. My camera is shaking again. But yeah, just do what I do, okay? So you don't get lost. So all of this out of the way. And time to focus on the bodice of this pattern. So for this pattern, you're aligning it according to the curves. I am so down on my tongue today. Bear with me. But just line it along the curve, facing it good side to good side. This is really tiny, so I'd advise you to sew by hand so if your fabric doesn't get eaten up by your machine. If you have a machine, you could use it if you're an expert. But if you can sew by hand, I am sewing by hand because I do not have a machine. So I'm stitching, of course, with a needle and thread. And I'm just sewing a back stitch on my fabric using a single line of thread because I think it's much easier to control. Once stitched, go ahead and cut off the excess thread with a sharp scissors. Be careful, scissors are sharp, you have been warned. Turn it like this towards the seam. Use an iron to press it down, but this is really tiny, and the first time I tried this, the iron actually ate my fabric because this is a really tiny project, so it ended up eating my poor fabric. So I'm just going to lay it flat like this. You can go ahead and use a pin to hold it down so it doesn't move around like that. And then I'm going to take my needle and thread and sew a stem stitch. It's practically an embroidery stitch that I've been using for a very long time. And if you do not recognize it because the name I just called is practically like this. So first I push my needle out, then push my needle forward, having just a little thread hanging out long enough to go across. Loop your thread like this, loop it, then push through that same hole you came out of, and then push it forward, locking the stitch just like that. Now I just realized that some people might not have seen my stitches because, well, my thread was black and my fabric is mostly black, so I'm going to show you on a white fabric so you can see it better. So for the back stitch, it's basically just you pushing your needle through your fabric like this, and then push your needle before or a stitch back from the first one you did, and then push it forward again like this. Repeat, pushing your needle back just close enough for the first stitch, and then push forward, take a stitch back before the first one, and just keep repeating, trying to make your stitch as close as possible. somewhat like that. Like that. And for the stem stitch, it's practically you just pushing your needle forward like you did for the back stitch, holding a little thread just out a bit, push it forward, then use the first one that holds your needle to loop the thread hanging over. Do it again, loop, push forward, pull, loop, push forward, and pull. So basically there's a difference between this and the first one. So this is a stem stitch and this is a back stitch. You can see them now. Now that that's been cleared off, we can now go back to our project. Once both sides have been done, you can lay both of them good side, like this. Sew down, flip, and then stitch a stem stitch. So lay down or just run it on your machine, creating a corset-like look. Please don't mind the W. It's just, you know what? Let's just keep going. Next up is the top of the bodice. We are using this pattern for it. Take off the pattern and then split. So practically this is just one. You're facing it good side to good side against each other like this, and you're going to sew a stitch right across the top. For the strips, you are going to take your fabric good side, facing the good side. This is the back, the wrong side. And I want you to fold both ends, like so, like this. And then fold it into half again. I know this is really difficult, but you can do it. Fold it like this. And then sew a back stitch going all the way across. Now it would help if you would sew a straight stitch just to keep it down first, or use a pin. I would rather use a straight stitch and then sew all the way down. Or if you're feeling risky, you could go ahead and use a back stem stitch and just sew all the way around, all the way across. Sorry. I'm just trying to keep my camera from shaking at the same time sewing. It's a whole lot of work. Once you've successfully sewed across, you can turn this to see how it looks, because it's going to flip like this. So you have good side to good side facing both sides. Now you're going to bring that long strip that you were actually working on, and then this side right here is where your string is supposed to pop out. So you're sewing from here, and I'm going to stitch it down. Open it, flip this side so it's clean. Then you're going to sew a back stitch, or you can do the stem stitch and just fold it down so you can have that clean edge. Once both sides are stitched, it's going to look like this for the string to pass right out of, like that. So I can turn it like this and then sew both sides to close it. But before I sew it closed, I don't want to have issues with the ribbon, so I'm going to push it right out, and then I can close this side off. Once you've sewed that place closed, you can turn it inside out like this. And you can see, you can just pull to get that string, but first I don't want it looking like this. I want a very clean gather when I pull it. So because of this, I am going to pin the ribbon up and away from where I'll be sewing my stitches, and sew all the way across, making sure not to hit the ribbon so it doesn't disrupt my fabric once I pull together. Now once you're done and you've made sure that you did not hit the ribbon, you can just pull to adjust, just like your real thing. Gonna free it and pull. But we also need the gather underneath. So I'm going to take my needle and thread again and then sew a loose stitch from end to end. Just a straight stitch going all the way across. So when I pull the underneath, it gathers as well, giving you that cup kind of look. I'm going to tie a knot just to make sure that my fabric doesn't unravel when I'm attaching it, like so. So this should just be enough. Then you can go ahead and attach it to the dress or just the bodice at this point, because we're still walking on the bodice. And then line it up and sew along the curve, just along the curve. I would advise you to sew this by hand as well. Go ahead, turn it over and then sew it flat, and you've got the top or the front of your bodice. And finally, we can start working on the sides. You're sewing it like this, good side to good side, like this, and then sew all the way down, connecting the both of them, just like you did for the bodice. Once both pieces have been sewn, you can go ahead and attach them to the top, laying them good side to good side and connecting for both sides. Once successfully attached, we can start working on the sleeves. With both sleeves now freed from the pin, we can go ahead and hem the bottom. I, however, am using a stem stitch for my sewing. Once sewed all the way around, I'm going to take this loose thread we were looping on, and then you're going to pull it to create a gather, leaving a length big enough to surround or just round the doll's arm so it can come out. Once you've gotten the measurement for the wrist or the wrap for the arm, you can go ahead and then tie the rope so it doesn't unravel when sewing. Once tied, we can go ahead, folding it into half, good side to good side, and then sew along the edges. Once sewed by the side, go ahead and turn it inside out. Next up, take your fabric, lining the pits with the seam of the sleeve, just where you joined it, line it up, and then sew to attach, good side to good side, and then puff the top. And now it's time to work on the skirt. Go ahead and free the fold of your pattern, a small triangle, and iron flat. Go ahead and free the larger triangle as well. Lay the pattern good side to good side, and then sew to connect. And for the splits, I already made the pattern available to show you where you're going to leave space for your split when sewing. So that's that. Once all the pieces are sewed together, go ahead, taking that split open, fold it, and then sew to give that clean look. Go ahead and fold in the hems or just beneath and then sew the same way you did for the split. Once the bodice and the skirt is done, we can go ahead and attach both together. But I am going to sew the top or just the waistline, so I'm pretty much secure that it matches with my bodice length. Now that both pieces are connected, go ahead, lay it flat, and sew to lay down. Try it on a doll, secure with pin. Adjust the top using the string the same way you would do for the original human dress. So now you can see how the dress is going to look on your doll. Go ahead and sew the back close. Leave a space big enough for your Velcro zipper or buckle. I'm hemming the space for my buckle hook or Velcro. I'm just hemming mine. I'm using hooks for mine. Once the buckle or the hooks have been attached, I'm just going to loop it onto one of the threads sewed onto the fabric. And we're done with the dress. This is the overall look. So this is a really cute dress with a slit, and the length is just above the knee. So it's really cute. I really like how it is. I think your dolls would like it too. Now, as promised, the pattern is available for you to download and start crafting on your own. But the pattern will be placed on sale, but we're giving it for free for the first viewers to pop up within 30 minutes of the video. So go to the link below to claim it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget to ding that notification bell so you'll be the first to check out what next I'm out to create. Till next time, guys. Bye.